Hey guys, welcome to Broken Hiker. So this video is going to be the video that a lot of you guys have been waiting for. It's all about this trailer that I'm currently sitting in and how I built it, how I came up with the design, just everything you guys want to know about this trailer. So when I started building this, it was the winter of last year, 2022. I finished it. Well, I'm like 98% there. I still have a little bit of trim work to do, but most of it's done. It's functional. So I started posting a lot of the trailer build pictures on Facebook, a bunch of groups that I started following, and it gained a lot of traction on those groups. So you guys started asking for videos. So here I am. I bought this camera and I thought I'd start this channel up and start doing videos. Going forward, this channel will probably be having quite a bit of stuff about using this trailer for my photography business. I own a business called Branded Exposure. It's a commercial marketing or business marketing photography company. We go out and take photos for clients like breweries, architects, commercial contractors, distilleries, restaurants, pretty much any business that needs marketing done. They hire me to go out and take pictures for them, and they use that to market their business. So, which is the main reason I built this trailer, was for, this is kind of my mobile office that I can use to travel around to different project sites, and I can sleep in it, which saves me a lot of money in hotel bills. And then I have the second half of my business, which is fine art photography, and that's where the off-road capability comes in, where I can really get out to some remote areas and get the shots that I really wanted to get. I needed it big enough. I'm 6'3", and I have a 10-year-old son, and he comes along with me on some of my photography adventures, and I don't know why my camera's doing that. That's weird. There you go. Auto tracking. It's a thing of wonder. So yeah, I needed something big enough for the two of us to sleep in. Excuse me. So yeah. So to get into some of the details of this build, obviously I'm sitting inside of it. I'm actually on a 4-day photo shoot right now, so it's a little bit cluttered in here. I have some of my stuff. I have it cleaned up as best as I could for this video, so it wasn't too cluttered, but I do have some stuff in here, so I'll probably be taking multiple different shots and stuff to kind of move stuff around so you guys don't see all my crap. So the reason I got this trailer, I've been looking for a either like a teardrop or a square drop off-road trailer for quite a while. The problem I had was that most of the off-road ones that I found that had the amenities and the capabilities that I needed with the size that I needed were like $30,000. I know there's cheaper ones out there, but for just everything that I wanted, the ones I wanted were like 30 grand, which to me was absolutely ridiculous, because we own a 2018 Palomino Solaire, and we paid less than that, quite a bit less than that, out the door, and that's 31 feet and way more amenities. It has a bathroom and a kitchen and a big screen TV and separate bedroom and everything, and it costs less than that. So to me, spending 30 grand on a little, something that's 13 feet long was ridiculous. So I started my adventure of trying to find other options. So I joined a bunch of Facebook groups and started looking at all of the ideas that other people had. And I looked at foamies, I looked at using already made trailers and converting them into a camper kind of thing, and I've seen some people do some really amazing things, but for one reason or another, each one of those really didn't fit the bill for what I needed. So I kind of came up with this idea. I've seen a lot of people do this kind of build for hauling. I haven't really seen a whole lot of people do it for campers, and I actually found out there are some people. We actually started a Facebook page for truck bed trailer campers. So if you're out there and you're interested, or you're starting to build one, or you have one, you can search for that on Facebook and find that page. Share your ideas, get new ideas, everything like that. So, a little bit about this camper. So the frame of it I got off of Facebook Market. A lot of the stuff I got off of Facebook Marketplace. The frame is off of a 1970 Chevy pickup. It was a truck that already had an 8-foot bed, so it already had a long enough frame to support the 8-foot bed that I wanted to put on it. Obviously, a lot of fabrication to get everything to work, and then I ended up actually having to cut the frame short and put on a new tongue, just to make sure that the new bed was level with the bed of my truck, which is a 2021 F-150 hybrid, or the Power Boost. And I wanted it to be nice and streamlined and even with that bed, and kind of follow my black and white theme that I have going on with that truck. So the bed of this trailer is off of a 2020, or sorry, my truck is a 2022. The bed is a 2021 F-250 8-foot bed. So that came... Actually, if you're looking to build something like this, the best way to get a bed for a very reasonable place is not a junkyard. They're going to charge you like thousands of dollars for one. But if you find a utility company or a contractor that buys a whole bunch of new trucks, and they're typically white, which is a great color to start with, but they'll buy a whole bunch of trucks and they'll take the bed as soon as they get them, to put on a flatbed or a utility bed or something like that, something other than just the standard bed that the truck comes with. And it's completely useless to them, so they'll try to sell it and get rid of them. They'll have like 15 of them and they want to get rid of them for cheap. So you can pick one up from anywhere from like $750 to $1,200, depending on if it comes with tail lights or tailgate. Mine did not come with tail lights or tailgate, which didn't really matter to me. Taillights you can get fairly inexpensively aftermarket off of Amazon, and actually didn't want the tailgate because I planned on putting the topper with the large door. So that's kind of the start of this, and we'll start going into the electronics wall and these spiffy hanging bags a lot of people have been asking me about. We'll actually have a link on where to get the brackets for these by Aspen Frontiers. We'll have a link with a code for a discount on getting those brackets. So we'll get more into it. Alright, so we're back. So we're going to go through the electronics wall. So when I initially started this build, one of the things I did was I completely drew out how I wanted my electronics to be wired. I did deviate from that plan slightly, move some things around a little bit from my original schematic that I drew out, and that'll happen. You know, always plan, but accept that changes are going to happen depending on various circumstances and things that happen and how you got to move things around. So we'll go through this wall a little bit, move some stuff around here. So I have my switches here. So this switch here actually operates my reverse lights outside, since obviously I don't need those for when I'm out or driving. I don't need reverse lights for a trailer. So I actually wired those up to that switch so that at nighttime I can put this big door here into like a porch mode, which I'll show you guys later, and I can flip that switch and have some nice lighting out there. This switch goes to my water pump. I have a 16-gallon water tank that sits up towards the front of the trailer, and it sits in between the frame, and it's hooked up to a water pump. And then this light I have, it's so my son, who's 10, wanted colorful LEDs. I don't know, he thinks it's super cool, so I ended up installing a bunch of LED lights underneath the trailer, and they have like a million different colors and like 15 different preset things, rainbow runner and all this other stuff. So I had to install it. It made him happy. And then I have the cabin light here. So this switch here is just for this light. So when I'm coming in late at night and I open the door, these main puck lights back here are controlled by this switch right here. So when I'm going to sleep at night, I don't have to crawl all the way to the back of the trailer to hit a switch. It's easily accessible right here. I can dim it, I can turn it on and off, everything from there while I'm laying in bed and I don't have to get up. But when I'm coming in and it's dark, I wanted a light up here that I could easily access, so I can flip that, hit that, and that's all good. So, all right, power. So this is my power wall, and I tried to wire it as cleanly as possible. I'm sure there's some people out there who could probably do a much better job than this, but I do not do this for a living. I mean, I understand all the basics of it and stuff, but I'm sure there's a lot of neat tips and tricks out there for how to run all this stuff and have things a little bit cleaner. So for the battery, I went with a Power Queen 100 amp hour lithium battery, and it runs everything in this trailer for, I don't even know, I would say at least a week, and that would be at minimum. It's awesome. It'll run all the lights, the water pump, charge my phone, everything. So how I have this set up is I have the shore power coming in from outside, just outside by where the gas tank door is. That comes in and goes to, I don't know if you can see it down here, but right there is a AC distribution box with two 15 amp circuits. One of those 15 amp circuits goes to 1, 2, and there's another outlet over here, kind of, the pillows are kind of covering it. So it goes to those three 120 outlets, and then the other breaker is actually just turned off right now. Eventually I have plans to put in a, I haven't decided if I'm going to go with like a rooftop RV AC with a heat pump in it, or if I'm going to go with like a mini split ductless system. I kind of have the perfect spot for both things, so I could go either way. But anyways, that other 15 amp breaker is just going to be to hardwire my AC in this system, so that'll take care of that. This third outlet that's back here in the power wall, and not these two, but this third one, the only thing that runs this outlet is the AC to DC converter, which is this box right here. So that plugs into that. It's grounded to the negative bus bar there, which has an additional ground that runs down to the chassis. This is my chassis ground here. And then that all runs well, from the AC to DC converter, that all runs down to the battery, and then from the battery you have the disconnect, comes back up to the plate for my spiffy battery monitor here. I don't know if you can, there you go, you can kind of see it. Not really. Sort of. Oh, yeah, there's the, so right now I'm running, it's the display on this thing sucks. It's, you got to look at it like straight on. If I would recommend a different monitor because the display on this one kind of sucks, but the battery's currently at 13.28, currently drawing about 1 amp and 13.5 watts, so not much. The only thing I have running right now are my lights, and that's about it. Alright, so from there it goes, there's another inline fuse, and then my positive and negative bus bars, and then that runs to my DC fuse block. So I kind of designed this so that I had easy access to everything. I normally have the top panels up here. I really never have to take these off. They're just held on by like the really hard industrial Velcro, where it's not that fabric stuff, it's just hard on hard, and it kind of fits in really tightly so they don't bounce around. So I have those holding the boards on, and then I have my easy access ports. So one for the battery, I'll take that out in the winter time, keep it inside, and then I have the one here so I can access the AC to DC converter and the DC fuse block. And then I have another one, another door back here, and that's kind of easily accessible once I move the bed around, but that's I can access the AC distribution panel from there. So that is the power wall in this trailer. If you guys have any questions, let me know and I will do my best to answer them. And we'll go on to the next thing. Alright, we are back for, I think this is video 3. Alright, so we're going to go to the other side of the camper now. So a couple of things to mention on this side of the camper. Sorry, I'm trying to get my phone set up here so I can see what I'm actually recording. Alright, so a couple of the other things that... Sorry, my camera's going all over the place. There we go. Alright, so a couple of the things to mention on this side are, one, these luggage racks over here. These are amazing. Probably one of, I mean, I can't even say how much I love this thing because it keeps my luggage out of my way. And when you're in such a small space, anything you can do to save space and keep better organized, you can't put a price on that. I mean, it's amazing. All right, so speaking of storage, this is the side of the trailer that has all of my storage on it. So I don't have a ton of storage, but I think I did a fairly decent job of getting pretty decent storage in here. So I'm going to take you into my storage here, and it's not a ton of space, but it is pretty decent. So up at this front one, I put all my cooking stuff, my stoves, my plates, my silverware, my fuel, stuff like that. Stuff I need when I'm gonna be out at outside and I need to reach in to grab something, but I still need the storage space for those bigger items. And then I have this other, my back space. This is, you know, I'm sitting back on the couch. This is where I'm relaxing. I don't want to have to move around the trailer a whole lot, so this is where I store my charging cables, my heater, my fan. That little orange thing back there, that's a tiny little, I think it's 600 watts heater. Plenty big enough to keep the chill off in here. I'd say it probably raises the temperature in here by like 15 degrees. I keep a little backpack and extra sheet for the bed, stuff like that. So that's pretty much all the storage I have in here. Excuse me. So all my really big stuff goes in my truck. All of my camera equipment, all of my gear, that sits in the back of the truck. I typically don't need it in the trailer, so all I need is my backpack there, and my tablet, my laptop, all of life's necessities. The really cool thing is that I can start my truck, and I'll show you later, but if I start my truck, I can put it into generation mode or generator mode, and it has a 7.2 kilowatt onboard generator that will power like, I don't know, probably like 6 or 7 of these trailers. I've never even gotten close having this thing with the heater, a fan, charging my laptop, charging a tablet, my phone, everything, charging everything. Lights full blast, and I don't even come remotely close to maxing that thing out. It could power my whole house. So that's an awesome feature, because no matter where I'm at, I can plug into my truck, start it. My truck gives me the Wi-Fi and the generator, and it really doesn't use that much gas. Running everything, the truck will turn the engine off probably, I'd say 30 to 45 minutes. It'll run for 5 minutes to recharge the battery, and then the engine shuts back down again and runs off the big battery in the truck, because it's a hybrid. Okay, so to get into these awesome storage things, and this weird rack thing over here that you see way back here, that is what this bag is hanging off of. So to give you a better view of this, so this is a Patagonia travel bag. I was really impressed with the quality of this. I apologize in advance, you're about to see my clothing in unmentionables, but I want to show you guys how to pack this thing, so if you get one, you got kind of a good idea. So when you get these bags, it comes with this bracket up here that it's attached to, and it attaches to the webbing that's attached. It has these little fingers on both sides. One side is longer than the other side, so you start with the longer side, you put the webbing through the fingers, and then you put it on the other side, and there's a little acorn nut that comes up and prevents it from falling off. I've had this thing going down some pretty rough roads, and I come back here and these are still up, so they hold on really well. So I will say, towards the end of this build, when I was building this trailer, Bill Aspen, the guy who made these, reached out to me, and he's like, hey, I have these things, and he originally built them for like van builds, people that are turning their vans into campers, and he asked if I'd be interested in trying them out in my build. And I was like, thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, of course, why wouldn't I? So anything you can do to save space, right? So this is kind of how you don't pack it like a normal luggage. So on a normal luggage, you pack from like the bottom up. From this, you pack from the side to the other side, so that when it's sitting on its side, on its bracket here, you have access to everything. You can pull out a pair of pants, you can pull out a shirt, shorts, whatever you want to pull out, and you're not digging for anything. And then it also comes with this plastic plate that sits on the bottom. I forgot the plastic plate at home, but otherwise this would sit a little bit flatter. Sorry, my camera is not doing this well. But anyways, that's the bag, and it's amazing. I'll show you the bracket here. So the bracket, Now the bracket, I had to get a little, say creative, to install this thing. So the bracket is normally screws into, I mean, it's made for, it was originally intended for like a van. It's got more, I'll say like structure to support it. So this being a, this topper is, it's an ARE, DCU or CDU or whatever. They're commercial topper. It's got the aluminum skeletal structure in the roofing, which was awesome, which I really wanted because it makes it so much easier to attach everything I did here, including all of the insulation and everything. So I have these 1x1 aluminum bars that run back and forth and across here. So that's what I had to deal with. Unfortunately, the first time I took this out, I had screws, and actually I still have some screws holding this. Let's see if I can see it there. Here's a better one. So screws holding the ceiling up into these aluminum structures on the ceiling, and because this trailer bounces around so much, which I'm hoping to cure soon by taking the overload leaf spring out of this, because when I go over like trailer or railroad tracks or something, this trailer goes airborne. So way too stiff for what the build. But anyways, the screws were like stripping themselves out of that aluminum, and I ended up having to take a lot of the screws out and replace it with rivets. I actually have another one here that you can see. I have to replace this. The screw fell out and I have to replace it with rivets. And I think I'm just gonna do it and take all the screws out and replace them all with rivets, so I don't have to worry about it again. All the other screws in the walls and everything else is held up, but for whatever reason the ceiling keeps falling out, and there's more vertical, when it bounces, there's more vertical force pulling down on those screws to rip it out of the aluminum, which is a problem with these because you have luggage attached to it now, which is even more force pulling down. So when you hit a bump and you get that jar pulling it down, I had to find a creative solution so that it didn't rip it out of the ceiling. So what I found were, and I'll try to get a picture of it, but what I found were these rubber, they're almost like grommets, but it's like a rubber stick with a screw that goes in it. And as you screw it in, the rubber expands. It's kind of like a drywall anchor. As you screw in, the rubber expands out. So that was perfect. I just had to find the right thickness. Now, mind you, when you put these in, it has really nice directions here on which direction everything has to face and all that. One arrow has to be facing the front of the vehicle. So this is how I have mine set up. The long teeth or fingers go to the front and the short teeth go to the back. So when you're putting this on, you put this side on first, and then you come around, and once these are on all the way, these slide on and it comes back. And here's the hole where that little acorn nut goes. I don't know if you guys can see that real well, but that's the hole for the acorn nut. So what I had to do was I put some spacers in here, and then I used those rubber grommets and I put some more rubber in here. So now when that rubber actually acts as a great vibration dampener as I'm going down the road and it shifts around, you can see this thing's got a lot of wiggle to it, but it's secure. It's not going to go anywhere. And as I hit those bumps and I'm going off-roading and everything, that's going to jiggle around and move and do whatever, but it's not going to come out because that rubber that I have in that hole expanded way out, filling that 1-inch tube so that it won't pull out. It would take a drastically much more force than this bag full of clothes could ever muster to pull that out. And if it did, half my ceiling would probably be coming with it. So as far as these go, I'm going to have a link in the bottom in the description of these bags. They're the Patagonia. I don't remember the specific thing, but they're awesome. And I'll also link Aspen Frontier's website along with the discount code. And then you guys can use that as part of your build and save some money. Because who doesn't like saving money, and who doesn't like saving space? It's awesome. All right, so I think that's about it for the interior. If you guys have any questions, hit them in the comments below. I'll try to do like an after review, going through the most popular questions and try to answer those questions. I know a lot of people have asked what I used for this curve here, and I've posted in a lot of things because it's really hard to find anything that's going to stick to this curve. Most people just put like a ceiling up and they leave that bare, which looks kind of ugly. But basically what that is if you go to like your Home Depot or Menards or a Lowe's or whatever big box home improvement store that you have near you, you can find these 4 foot by 8 foot sheets of it's giant plastic sheets. They come in black, they come in white. You'll actually see on the front of the trailer where it would normally butt up against the cab of a truck. I have a huge, thick piece of plastic that's cut out, and it looks really nice. But same thing, this is a really thin piece of plastic. It's easy to work with, it's easy to cut. It's kind of a pain in the ass to install because it's floppy and flimsy, and highly recommend 2 people to install it, but it works great. It goes with the curve. The only thing I would say is if the trailer gets really hot, that plastic does expand, and you'll start to see some bowing as the plastic expands. You'll start to see some bowing at the secure points that you attached it to. But as soon as it cools down to a normal temperature, it shrinks back to a normal, and those wrinkles or bows in the plastic are gone. So typically not that big of a deal. But if you do that and you see that, it'll go away. All right, so I think that's it for the interior. I will try to get the exterior going next, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow because it's a little dark outside to do anything tonight. But see you guys soon.